Hi, I'm Clementine from Ed Books with Clementine, and I'm doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag today. The original creator was TheBookArcher, so I'll try and link down below in the description both the creator and their original video. Without further ado, let's jump in. Number 1, a popular book or series you don't like. It is no secret that I am not the biggest fan of classic fantasy because I think they're very slow-paced books, but also not very character-driven and very descriptive. Too much for my taste. For these, I have two that I want to cite: Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien and The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I have DNF'd both those series. Lord of the Rings when I was a teenager. I think I went through until the beginning of book 3, and then I stopped. I had to stop. Maybe it was also worse because I was reading the French translated version of Lord of the Rings. Who knows? The second one, The Wheel of Time, I think I went for 2 books and I stopped, I think 80 pages through book 3. I couldn't keep getting myself through it. I hated every single character. I was only interested in the magic system a little bit and how it worked, but it is a gendered magic system and it's never explained what happens for non-binary, intersex, trans people. We don't know. And that bothered me a lot. I know it's a product of its time, but also it was super boring for me and I hated Randall 4 and the other 2 teenage, barely adult boys. They grated me so much, so I couldn't put myself through that, especially with the number of books in this series. And the third one is a more modern one, and that is the Broken Off trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. For this one, I think what didn't work for me was the second person POV. It really didn't work. I thought for me it was more of a gimmick and a way to keep the reader unaware of the twist in this story, and why the second POV is there is to keep us not knowing things. And I hated that. And I did have an inkling of the twist, not all of it, but like I did discover the most important thing. I didn't go all the way through because I couldn't believe it would go that way, and it did. I did read the whole trilogy, so if you want a rant about this series one day, maybe I can do it, but also I've read it now at least a year ago, so I have forgotten some details. Who knows? So here are some popular book or series that I didn't like. Number 2, a popular book or series that everyone seemed to hate but you love. For this, I don't think I have really any to mention, because if everybody seems to hate a book, I don't think I usually like it or even try to attempt such a book or series. I think maybe The Queen of a Tearling, specifically the ending of it, I thought it was good, but I know it's very divisive. Yeah, I don't know. Number 3, a love triangle where the main character ended up with a person you did not want them to end up with, or an OTP that you don't like. OTP, I think, stands for One True Pairing. I think for this one, I will put Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I only read the first book. After that, I decided that was enough for me. I didn't like either Kyle or Maven. By the end of the story, of course, you cannot like Maven. I won't say spoilers, but you can't with what happens. But I never got interested in Cal at all. I thought the first meeting between Mare, the female main character, and Cal was very contrived for me. I didn't see any chemistry at all. It went over my head, honestly. But maybe it's also because I was very annoyed at Mare herself. I just didn't like her in the whole book. So maybe that's why also I never got interested in any of the love interests. I think in this series they should just not stay together at all. Controversial opinion, maybe. Number 4, a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. I could cite a few of them, but for this one, I will say thriller. I won't say that I've read a lot of them. I think for me, thrillers only have worked a little bit if there was another genre with it mixed in, like the thriller sci-fi, for example, that Blake Crouch writes. I read a Recursion by him, and I did have a decent time with it. But I think what kept me really intrigued was all the sci-fi world building in there, not so much the thriller portion. And every time I try to read just a thriller itself, either I get super bored and I know the twist 20% in or 30% in, or I get really annoyed because when the twist arrives, there's no indication to tell you why it happened and it doesn't make sense at all. So those are my things. Number 5, a popular or beloved character that you do not like. I could cite a few other characters from the series I've cited before, like Mare from Red Queen, Randall 4 from Wheel of Time, but for the interest of citing different series, and also because I think this is the main reason why I DNF'd that series, I will mention Selena from Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I am very sorry for people who will be very sad at this, but I really didn't like Selena. I DNF'd in the middle of book 2. I think book 1, I enjoyed it okay enough, probably because we had this competition trial and it was quite entertaining, and we didn't have a lot of insight, I think, in the main character at that time. But like in book 2, she sort of became another person, at least to me, from what I read in book 1. I don't know if it's because we suddenly were a little more in our head because we were not just doing trials and she had more free time. When I read half of the book, and it seemed to me that half of the time we were just talking about clothes, what she was gonna wear every day and what she was wanted to buy as clothes, can we stop about the clothes, please? Because I do not see anything anyway. Why do you gotta be talking to me about this gowns? Just stop, please. I think also in this second book, I really didn't like Selena also because of the love interests and all the thoughts that were going in her head between the two love interests. I just couldn't, and I stopped. I stopped because of that. Number 6, a popular author that you can't seem to get into. I will say Brandon Sanderson for this. I have read 3 books from him now, and I will say I did enjoy Mistborn. I did enjoy Elantris. I did really like, however, Tress of the Emerald Sea. So you might say, like, what? It seems like you can get into his books. But to that I will say, a lot of his books are series. Like Mistborn, I read the first one, I really enjoyed it. I especially loved the magic system and how intricate it is, but especially how detailed the author is with the magic system, and the care that he takes about this is amazing. I do think the plot was decent. I did see that there were some hints in there that could tell you what the twist was going to be, and everything that happens in the end was foreshadowed. But at the same time, I didn't care about any of the characters. It's not even that I hated any character, I just didn't feel any way about them. And when this big event happens, for example, in Mistborn, and we have this horrible emotional scene, I didn't care with what happened with one of the characters. I didn't care at all. And as a character-driven reader, I need to care about the characters to continue in a series. So that's why I'm putting this on this list, because I will most likely not go into Stormlight Archives if I continue to feel this way about Brandon Sanderson. I will also not go into any of his other series or the rest of the Cosmere universe. I think Tress of the Emerald Sea really worked for me because it was so much different, and it did make me intrigued about this character that you see and that is apparently in other novels from the Cosmere, but not enough to actually read other books from him, at least at this minute. I will probably try again. I'm thinking of trying Mistborn again, but let me know what I should read. Or if I should just decide that Brandon Sanderson might not really be for me. 7, a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. The main one, I already talked about it a little bit, but love triangles. I am very tired of this trope. I don't think it ever works for me. Most of the time, we know where the end goal is, we know who the main love interest is supposed to be, and you just have this side person who's there for drama. And I don't care about that. And usually it makes me feel worse about the main character and their relationship with the main love interest anyway, because it undermines it for me. I could also cite another book trope that I would like to mostly remove from books, and that is miscommunication. When I say miscommunication, it is not miscommunication because the people are strangers or they're afraid of some situation to say too much to this person they don't really know. No, I talk about miscommunication in a couple that is established. As an example, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. You do have miscommunication between a couple that has been married for years, to the point that it doesn't seem that they have talked at all and they actually don't know each other. Even if this is a sort of arranged marriage, you cannot tell me after years that this is okay, that this miscommunication can happen in more than several years of marriage. No, this doesn't work. I don't like it. I don't find it interesting in a story at all. Number 8, a popular series that you have no interest in reading. I could cite a lot of contemporary romance book series, for example, but I also don't usually read contemporary romance, so I will stick with a fantasy book series, and I will say A Song of Ice and Fire by R.R. Martin, or The Name of the Wind, also by Patrick Rothfuss. And I think for both of these cases, one, I think I would not probably enjoy the story, but two, and most importantly, for both of those series, there is no end in sight for sequels, and I don't want to read a series that we are never sure if it's gonna have an ending or not. And number 9, the saying, the book is better than the movie, but what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? Maybe a controversial opinion, but that's also what this book tag is all about. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. While I did really enjoy my time with the series, because I think while The Hunger Games was written very well, it was very punchy, and for a YA novel, it goes super fast to read. I do think the book was written a little bit more like the script of a movie, and I was lacking at times a little bit of what the characters were thinking. And I do think with the movie, they perfectly encapsulated the world, the actors, that allowed us to get so much more insight into the characters themselves. I think this was all for this book tag today. So with this, I'll stop rambling, get back to reading, and I'll see you in the next one.